Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the finest of War Unification casts this side of Yorkshire. And today we've got 1 vs 1 on Fatamorga. But on the other side, as the Necrons, we've got Focus. Opposed to the other side, as the Tyranids, we have got Grindan. Grindan will be opening with a couple of Gene Stealers, a Brood Lord, and a Tyranids Brood Spire. Whereas Focus is going to go for a fistful of Bill Scarabs, a Necron Lord, and a couple of Plasma Generators. So here we are, it's been quite some time since we've seen the Tyranids on the channel, and I'm quite excited for this, considering that most recently I've finished painting up a whole brood of Tyranids. I'll show that on the screen if I can remember during the editing process. But yeah, look at that. The pile of shame slowly but surely been painted away into forgetfulness and all that. But yeah, so Necrons versus Tyranids. We're already seeing a very fast summoning core from Focus. I wonder why this is the case. We've got Necron Lord coming out first and foremost. Quite often for Tyranids we will see a whole bunch of Lictors coming from the Tyranids Brood Spire, which are great at sniping out for commanders, but I suppose Necron Lord is able to teleport out of the way. Now, is this a quick tier 2? I wonder. I don't think so. Unless, of course, Summoning Core and then into a Forbidden Archive for those extra gubbins. Maybe a Lightning Field, potentially, although I would highly doubt it. But instead, we're going to see some Raveners coming out. Raveners able to maneuver around, especially on a map like this, where the main base is protected by a slim line of rocks that could jump straight on in and start bashing up Plasma Generators. I suppose when a Necron Lord is done, you could then just basically spam out Necron Warriors to your heart's content. I would expect also to see some sort of Ghost turret placed inside the base, just in case the Tyranids start acting a little bit out and untoward. We're going to see a second Ravener squad coming out as well. Just I suppose it's always best to have 2 squads rather than one small squad. But actually, no major aggression, which is quite surprising. Everyone just capturing their bits and bobs around the base. Tyranids benefit from not requiring a builder unit. They could just basically plop down things from the sky, which is always quite handy. Brood Lord snaking his way on over, ready to high-five some builder scabs in the face should they try and get out and about him. And some Flayed Ones. Right, why Flayed Ones? Is it because you're just able to tend with things in close combat? Ooh, very interesting. I do like an unusual build order. Makes things completely unpredictable. Here are the Raveners knocking on the obelisk with their spiky claw things. Brood Lord making his way over into the base. And yeah, just one squad of Flayed Ones. Don't know if they'll be able to contend with the Raveners. We'll be able to break the morale so long as they're able to kill the Brood Lord first, as he does put people within synapse, which stops them from losing morale in any way, shape or form. Necron Lord over here is going to stop the Gene Stealers from capturing their relic, and will then jump straight on her to see what they can do. Maybe the Bill Scabs can prevent these Gene Stealers from capturing the relic, which they will not be able to do. And the Flayed Ones, you've gone somewhere. Where have you gone? You've spawned somewhere. Where are you? You're in the bait. Right. For why? For why, Focus? What are you thinking here? We go for a second squad of Flayed Ones. Is it because you want to reinforce them? No, not at the moment. You're just hanging around the Plasma Generators. And I suppose, realistically, the only thing you need to protect at this stage of the game is the Plasma Generators. So 2 squads of Flayed Ones and Necron Lord. Unconventional, as they say, but Necron Warriors to be tied up in close combat, sir. Not a bad idea, but the Flayed One's been really quickly brought down low. Teleporting over towards this Plasma Generator there gives them a little bit of space to reinforce themselves, and some Necron Warriors going to come out for some firing support. Whereas Necron Lord in this, he's in the middle somewhere, but Flayed One's just been thrown around, unable to really contend with these guys. I mean, in theory, they do roundabouts the same amount of damage in close combat. Raveners are also infantry, but do damage against heavy infantry. There's a squad of Necron Warriors. Now, a couple of Ghost Reapers would do them some good, but you can only get that with a Summoning Core. Acts like a shotgun. There we go, Necron Lord throwing a Ravener over his shoulders. But morale being broken. Health almost been knackered out. And will teleport out the way for the moment. Brood Lord is still, I would say, remarkably healthy, as he's got full health at the moment. Those comes over here being a pain. Getting a decap potentially on the... Can you get it done? No, not quite. It's very unfortunate. Also have some Gene Stealers coming over to tank and take over the strategic point. But the Ravener's not quite able to kill or get a squad wipe on either of these Necron Flayed One squads. I'm going to see a third one coming out, so maybe there's just too many of them. Can't quite fit around all the Flayed Ones at the moment. Oh no, that being said, double of them killed at the same time. And that means they won't be able to rebuild themselves But where one falls, another shall come forward. Necron Warriors now involved in close combat, which is definitely not what they want to be. Yeah, a Ghost Turret would have been an idea if you stuck it in the corner, maybe, so they couldn't get full surround on them, and then also a couple of flayed ones to engage in close combat. Necron Lord, very low on health. He's gone in for it. If anything, just to provide a little bit more to fight against them. Raveners, in the grand scheme of things, I mean, how much do you cost? You cost 45 blue. At the moment, the income isn't amazing, but they will get that online as the reclamation pools start pooling up. Lovely shade of purple as well. I love it. I also quite like how the Necrons go exclusively green money and the Tyranids go exclusively blue money. It's just a fun little divergence. But Flayed Ones somehow being able to mass in number. And one squad of Raveners have been taken care of, so unconventional build maybe, but it's worked against a very unconventional foe. Broodlord will be swiping down the obelisks. Oh, maybe you... Oh, no, you didn't die. You just tunneled away and then hid underground. Fair enough. Don't blame me, really. So breaking down the obelisks, I mean, that will stop the Necrons in theory from building up any more units. Here comes the second squad of Raveners. Later ones teleport back home. Not very far, but like I say, it just gives them a little bit more space. The second squad over here chilling out. And they're going to teleport in a more aggressive manner. The Raveners seem to be outnumbered a little bit here. Broodlord is still knocking around somewhere, he says. Is the Broodlord still knocking around? He is. It's all very similar colours, so it's hard to differentiate them, you see. And Mr. Lordy Lord is back on his feet, full health. Obelisks attempting to be rebuilt by Focus. The Raveners are just going to... If they can't kill all the stuff in here, may as well hem the Necrons into their own side. At least denying that build speed bonus will do them some favours in the long run. And there is that Ghost Turret. More Necron Warriors coming out to play. Raveners will spot the Ghost Turret, but that will be able to stop it from being built. The sheer amount of Bill of Scabs that are knocking around. Especially with the Flayed Ones being able to knock them back away from the Broodlord as well. The morale breaks very quickly. Also been sliced up fairly fast. So they've gone back home. Or at least we'll need to run back to the Broodlord to regain connection to the Hive Mind. Tier 2 has been finished by Grindan. And Tier 2 about to start from Focus. They will be quite far behind at the moment. And while the Necrons are quite happy staying inside their base because they can just basically build up an infinite economy with their plasma generators, so too can the Tyranids. And I don't know how this is actually going to play out. Because obviously Tyranids can just spam out the Screamer Killer Carnifexes. They can get the Warriors with their powerful anti-heavy infantry weaponry. But then again, I mean, the Necrons, they've got a lot of things going for them in Tier 2 as well. Especially if they get their Ghost Arcs, they're able to pick up all the dead Necrons knocking around to rebuild them. They've got the Scorpec Heavy Destroyer people, the Crab people with swords for arms. Whatever you call those ones. Raveners going again for another slash on the obelisks. Billisco's moving forward to attempt to rebuild it. Not sure how many builders you've got left. You've got 4 squads at the moment. 4 squads? 5 squads. And a Forbidden Archive on the way. Yeah, I think if this is an unconventional build, then a unconventional Forbidden Archive relic list will do them some favours. And then just bobbing and weaving. Slipping between time and space itself. Necron seems to be going back inside the oven. A slow cooking, if you will. And the second Ghost Turret. That seems to make sense in my mind. You've got 2 obelisks, so at the moment you are maxed out on squad cap. But you will have plenty of green money left over for some vehicles. Necron Lord popping up the phase shift, keeping everyone alive for the moment. We'll allow those Ghost Turrets to do some damage gradually. But they have decided to jump on over towards the Plasma Generators. A good surround on it as well. Very quickly mulching it through. I don't think that the Billiscobs can even get close enough to repair it. So that's fun. One Broodlord slicing at the Necron Monarch. Probably a bit of a misclick there. Could really do with coming over and supporting the Raveners as morale has been broken once again. Yeah, without that Broodlord, the Raveners' morale dips pretty quickly. But here comes a Hive Tyrant, Gene Stealers, and a Screamer Killer count effects. Be really careful about the Gene Stealers as well. In the early game, they are a bit shite. But as the game goes on and you get more and more upgrades for them, they can become game-ending units in their own right as they acclimatise to the planet's atmosphere. Off in the distance, some Ripper Swarms. Always good for chewing through buildings if left to their own devices. Also, cheeky Reclamation Pool over here as well. Screamer Killer being a bit confused, not sure what he's doing with his life. We do sometimes see Tyranid models acting a bit skew-whiff, but they're doing a bit of a victory lap around that Necron Lord there. Very interesting. And the Hive Tyrant also struggling a bit with the whole understanding what he's doing with his life. But he's got his sponge guns. Can't remember if they're flesh borers or whatever you call them. Something like that. I've been reading through the Tyranid Codex as of late, but I haven't quite got around to the pages that explain all the weapons. Reading a page a day. Otherwise, I'll forget to read because I'm not a big reader. Much prefer an audiobook for the walks and such. Yeah, Necron Lord going toe-to-toe with a Screamer Killer, but then phase shifting just as things were going a bit dire. Necron Warriors firing away. And it seems to be like a really unfocused, ironic because he's going up against focus, but a really unfocused kind of fight. Not really sure what he's trying to snipe out at the moment. But I suppose every time he's about to kill something, he just teleports back home. And more turrets. I wouldn't normally recommend building turrets, but in this kind of scenario, the Necrons have got this much space to play with, and a couple of turrets as well over here to protect against the melee combat-oriented Tyranids from building, from destroying this obelisk. Got some build scouts up attempting to have a sniff around this spore chimney. The Rippers scaring them away. Current economy is being 60% on 100 compared to 154 and, well, 20. Well, no idea how fast it's going up, but it's going up pretty quickly as the spore chimneys will make it. The Tyranids use this to build up buildings and this obviously to buy units. I think that's how it works, can't quite remember. One for the other, and the other for the other. Which is the technical way of describing it, boys and girls. Necrolord comes in. Blade One's also ready to shimmy and shake over. Screamer Killer seeming to have a bit of a difficulty going on here, and these Raveners running away from the Necron Lord. Here's the first go of the Warriors. Seems that they're close combat oriented. Would probably like to see these guys engaging in some ranged combat, actually, considering that there's a lot of flayed ones on the go. Yeah, it doesn't seem like they're doing all that much. They're just going to run away, tail in between their legs. Over on the right side, though, well, do you mind, Rock? You're in the way. Alright, there was some stuff going on, but then Raveners deciding to flee away. It's fair enough. They cannot regain morale as well. I can't remember if I've mentioned that, but cannot until they get within Synapse range. Tier 3, been finished. Perfect link. And got the death marks. Interesting. It'll be very easy to tie up. So a bit of a risk, but you do a lot of damage against the infantry and heavy infantry. Also able to snipe out the Hive Tyrants and the Broodlord. If they're able to get these two units down. I mean, I suppose actually that won't make a difference because the Warriors have got synaptic stuff going for them. Rippers just chilling out. They've lost connection to the hive mind, but they're not going to go buck wild. Velasco's been chased away. We've got one single Necron Warrior. Oh, he's dead now, never mind. The Caster's Curse taking him down. Double death marks now. Yeah, lots of aggression from the Tyranids, but the Necrons just seem to say, no thank you, we're just playing SimCity at the moment. We're just going to build up as best we can. They're in tier 3 as well. And zone flips. Yeah, I think what Grindan needs to do now is have a significant amount of ranged firepower on the go. There we are. Some venom cannons. Got the zone flips. Throw the Raveners in. Do some damage in close combat. Tie things up. And then bring down death and destruction from afar. That'll be my ideas. Whether they can also type the death marks as well. You don't want to get too close to them. Really quickly. Almost killing 2 models there. And what an impressive range that they've got as well. So Tyranids a bit shafted. Where are they going to go? What are they going to do? Tyrant has gone for a Venom Cannon as well. Second squad of Zonethrops. Now got the Pariahs as well, sir. Oh, and also some Scorpion Destroyers. Best unit in the game, in my opinion. Just the coolest dudes. So yes, a bit of a mixture from both factions here. Here comes a big engagement. Broodlord first to absorb the damage from those death marks, but I assume that's exactly what they wanted. Both Necrons and Tyranids throwing some close combat stuff behind the front lines. Some Tyranid hive mind nonsense causing these guys a bit of a mischief. Zonethrops have been timed up into close combat by the flayed ones. Will fall back a bit. Deathmarks using their positioning ability to fall back a little bit. One lonely Zonethrop over here being zapped to death. And the Tyranid assault is falling apart. To the Necron onslaught. Yeah, I don't know if the big guns are actually doing the Tyranids any favours. Maybe a huge swarm of little ones might do them a lot better just because they're, you know, quicker to reinforce, a lot cheaper. Can tie everything up in a massive ball while you get your long-range people in. Maybe some Biovores as well. That might do the trick. Or a Trigon. A Trigon will work. A Trigon is not a bad idea at all. And then also been followed up by some Xenotype Brood acclimatization, just to improve the effectiveness of the Zonethrops and all that. But that is a mighty Necron host coming down. I assume that the flayed ones... Yep, we've got triple flayed ones inside Necron Monolith. Dear oh dear, it's going to be a very close call. Got to wait for that Trigon, really. So maybe sacrificing a couple of their buildings might be worth it in the long run. Or if they can bait out the flayed ones, they will have to wait a little bit for the teleport to work again if they want to go back home and redeploy. And there are the flayed ones coming from the ground. Screamer Killer attempting to move back, but the pathing is really getting them in. And there we are, just that powerful firing line from the back. Spore Chimney goes down. Maybe some Spore Mine's been thrown on high. Might do them some good. There's a Trigon. And very quickly, breaking down a couple of bits and bobs. Glowing with Eldritch energy. And double flayed ones come back out. Trigon there. He's got demon armor. And he's struggling against all these death marks. The one squad seems to have been wiped out. They can't quite keep on top of them due to all this nonsense happening in betwixt him. Thankfully, a flanking squad of warriors should be able to charge in. Also, a little bit of a tunneling going on. Over yonder, a firing line over Carnifex with a Venom Cannon. A couple of Zonethrops. It's now the Necron's time to be struggling somewhat as the flayed ones start being broken down one by one. Not sure where the Trigon is going. Pariahs are engaging. And the Necron Lord bringing out some big electrics. So he's gone for the lightning field. It's very lovely to see, but he is down and out for the count. And a couple of death marks moving on in, but a little bit too close for comfort. Brought down very low very quickly. Trigon comes in from the flanks with a little bit of health left over. And is that a... There we go, a couple of Biovores as well, so... Tin is a little bit slow on the pickup, but they seem to have found that magic sauce to be able to cause the Necrons all the pain and mischief. Trigon's dead there. And are the Necrons building up things back at home? Hold on. Yeah, right, okay, I was on the right side of things. Energy Core Tier 4. That's fun because it rhymes. Pariahs and... Oh, so no, oh yeah, the Pariahs are still alive. I've still got the Scorpion Destroyers. The Hyperphase Reaper Blade. To increase damage to all sorts of mischief. And yeah, they seem to actually be holding on their own here. Pariahs tanky as always. resisting the acid from the Biovores. Keeping those zone threats in close combat as well, making sure they can't get any unnecessary firings off. Good lord, just absolute chads, aren't they? I mean, they're being whittled down one by one. I don't think these guys have got the rebuild or reanimation protocols. Oh no, never mind, you do! You do, they come back! That's fun. That was a cool reanimation animation, as the professionals say it. Necron Lord is out and about, striking down the Biovores, slamming them into the ground. And a Annihilation Barge, long range, massive damage, but plenty of warriors spawning forth to maybe slice it down in close combat. Good lord. Scorpet destroyers. Don't underestimate them. They are just mad, out for blood. Won't be happy until all biological life forms are kaput. Annihilation Barge, though, being brought down to half health relatively quickly. Scorpex attempted to come over to provide some support. The Hive Tyrant goes down. And the Zone Fobs are getting close combat. Glorious hand-to-hand combat with all the little stubbly bits. And the Annihilation Barge continues to fire. Jumping away. He could have done that at any point, by the by. Could have escaped at any time, but deciding just to stay there. Just to distract people, I guess. And, oh right, yep, that'll do it. A Doom Scythe. AoE air damage. Is it AoE? It's something. It's some kind of damage. But he's in the air. And all close combat units will be basically rubbish against him. And good lord, the Scorpex. They've got no chill. Basically won that match right there and then. They came out. Tyranids were saying, can you die please? And they said, no thank you. We don't want to die. We want you to die. And Tyranids, I suppose that there's no biomass to really gain from this scenario. I mean, what are you going to do? You can't exactly digest these. You can melt them down if you're acid, but can't really do much else. Also, look at this dude. Just as a side note. Isn't he having the best time of his life? There we go. So yes, so massive aggression from the Tyranids early on, but not quite able to break down the Necrons with their impressive defense with the flayed ones. And just gradually over time, they got on their massive economy, they got their tech up, they brought out the big boys, then walked their way down and basically spanked the Tyranids in submission. So there we go. So cheers, boys and girls, for watching at home. And if you want to support the channel, have a look at the old Patreon. £1 a month gets you once a game a week, and the result of Discord where Discord things happen. Links in the description as always. That's been Miss Landshark. Pleasure's always never short, and I will see you in a bit. Peace.